What's the creepiest compliment you've ever been given? Every day I ride the elevator to the top floor of my office building. One day a couple of years ago, an attractive 30-ish-year-old woman got on the elevator at 2 and pressed 8. When she got on the elevator, she stared at my forehead the entire time. The elevator reached 8 and she literally backed out of the elevator and held the door. Still staring at me, she blurted out, "I know I'm not supposed to say anything, but that is the most beautiful toupee I've ever seen." Quote. Then the doors closed without either of us saying another word, and I've never seen her since. Thinks I grew it myself. A guy once remarked that I looked too young to be legally allowed to work. I told him I was 16 and he said he would have guessed 12 or 13. I get this all the time and it pisses me off. But when in customer service smiled through the pain. He then looked me up and down, taking an extra second to look at my ass, and said, "You could do better than working here," and winked at me, then proceeded to watch me restock shelves until his wife came by. Not too creepy, but the vibes were incredibly off. Very creepy just as a whole, but even more so in the fact that he watched you and leered at you like that asterisk after stating that you look 12 asterisk. A waiter at a fast food restaurant told me I had white feet and that they looked good. He kept bothering me while my mom was at the cashier ordering our food. Asked me things like, "Where do you live?" Quote. "Do you have a boyfriend?" Quote. And more weird shit. Oh, and when he told me my feet were white and all, he took out the chair in front of me to take a look at it. I kept telling him that he shouldn't be asking me that stuff and then he needed to go since he cleaned everything that was on the table already, but he went on and on. Well, that was until my mom came back with our food and he acted as if he wasn't just bothering me. I lost my appetite and my mom noticed and I just cried. I guess the whole situation made me feel vulnerable and violated. My mom asked me what happened, so I explained everything to her. While I tried eating the food, the exact same waiter came back with more of our food and I assume he thought I didn't tell my mom, because he was all smiley and stuff until he saw my mom's face. My mom told him to call the manager and he went on immediately denying stuff before we even said anything, which made my mom furious. Okay, so fast forward. He lost his job because apparently I wasn't the first customer he did that to, and they checked the CCTV to see if my claims actually happened, which they confirmed. My brother also looked his FB profile up and found out that he has a wife and a baby. So yeah, so gross. Glad your mom took you seriously. One time I dressed up as a zombie to perform the Thriller dance at my workplace. Colleague came up to me, got real close to my ear, and whispered, "You look great as a zombie." I'm a necrophiliac, by the way. Yikes. Edited to add some context. This colleague was in a different department from me, so we only knew each other in passing. He was also about double my age. I was 24-25 at the time and he was closer to late 40s, early 50s. I'd be zombie walking my ass right to HR with that one WTF. This old man lived on my street. I would always say hi to him in the morning on my way out to work. Didn't know him outside that greeting. He must have been in his 70s. Looks at me and goes, "You look extra fuckable this morning." I double-timed it and stopped talking to him. This is one of the times where I wonder if some old people just see what they can get away with. I love your eyes. I can stare into them all day. Proceeds to stare into my eyes for 2 minutes straight. I'm a guy and not extremely lucky in the lady department. I'm not particularly choosy, but that one gave me the heebie-jeebies. I didn't think women was capable of that level of creepy, but I learned that day. I gave green eyes with orange speckles. I get compliments all the time, but men or women way creepier than men. I had one lady tell me she loves my eyes so much she could just scoop them up with a spoon and run away. Another girl in high school stared at me for a few minutes before saying she would steal my eyes and shoved them in her own head because they were so beautiful. Men on the other hand just say OMG they're so beautiful or wow. Are you wearing contacts? I always wear sunglasses now. You're like a pale Buddha. Proceeds to touch my belly without notice. That honestly sounds hilarious. Sculpture-worthy penis. Actually, that's not creepy at all. I just never pass up an opportunity to mention it. What a dick. From the sculptures that come to mind, I'm not sure that was a compliment, bro. When I was 18, an old man bent down to look under the table we were both at and told me I had nice legs. I was wearing a shortish skirt. I guess it's not overly creepy, but I felt so uncomfortable though. That's overly creepy. And way over the line. And way under the table. A comment on a picture of me when I was 16 with those hips. I would trust you to bear my children. Again, I was 16 in the photo. Who said this? Dwight Schrute. I mean, he does have very thirsty babies in his family. If Barbie looked like you, I'd still be playing with her. That is super creepy. From a female to me. A male. Nice. Bushy eyebrows. Proceeded to feel my eyebrows. Thing is, I'm 16. I haven't even grown a beard yet and my eyebrows are not that bushy. What? The actual Farberg-Nugan? Ugh. I have a few. You're very attractive. For a redhead. They're almost always ugly. Man old enough to be my father. Are those your legs or are you wearing white hose? Quote. At a family funeral. That dress is really wearing you. You look stunning. I always enjoy seeing you, said by my husband's uncle as he hugged me way too tight and close and whispered in my ear, I need him, and shouted my husband's name. He denied the whole thing. He is a Baptist preacher and is on wife number 5. If you ever need extra money, you can definitely sell your wears *wink, said by a complete stranger in line at Winn-Dixie. He tried to hand me a card that said, Joe's Body Shop, No. Also, I had my 3 kids with me. Oh my god. The redhead thing is actually true. But I also heard the opposite. You are surprisingly not sexy for a redhead. Probably the only redheads those douchebags know are Jessica Rabbit and porn stars. Porn stars definitely. I didn't mention the countless number of times men, in public while I was on the clock, have asked me if the carpet matches the drapes, if I am a real wink wink redhead, and if all the rumors about redheads are true. Disgusting. 6th grade girl at the science camp 1 was volunteering it. You have pretty eyes. Me. Thanks. Fur. I just wanna poke them and watch the blue goo come out. Me. Oh. For science, obviously. Never got it, but definitely is super creepy. When a parent, aunt, uncle, etc., says, if I was your age, I would definitely date you. Ivanka. At Disney once, me and my cousin, I was 16, he was 15, were sitting on a bench waiting for the others to come back from the bathrooms. And a lady, prob mid-30s, stopped and stared at us for like 10 seconds. Then she said, you guys are so cute. Invite me to your wedding. Then gave us a business card with her name and stuff on it. He just silently put it in his pocket and then we both just started laughing. We told our 3 other cousins, but not the adults. I too have a weird Disney story. There's this one attraction where you needed to have 12 or younger to enter. I think it was a tire swing or something. And me and my friend decided to try our luck and lie about our ages. We were 15 I think, but super short and thought that would play our advantage. Anywho, we go up to the guy at the door and he asks us our ages. We say 12. He looked us up and down and settled his eyes on our chests for the longest 5 seconds of my life. My friend was fairly flat but I was not. He looks back up to our faces, shrugs, and led us into the enclosure. Afterwards we laughed about it, but looking back on it, it was really weird and I get goosebumps when I think about it. First job at Starbucks at 16. Some older man, probably 60s, who worked at another store in the strip mall came in and told me I was so pretty and looked very young and innocent, and that he liked it that way. He also followed me out to the parking garage one night when I was alone but didn't realize my boyfriend had come to make sure I made it safely to my car. He quickly left when he saw my boyfriend waiting at my car. Thank goodness your boyfriend was there. WTF. Your neck brace is exquisite. I was just coming out of a spinal fusion surgery, so this was odd to hear. I would do anything to wake up next to your corpse. He sent it with a poem, Monsieur lol. Oh man, what poem did he choose to pair with that? I test my bath before I sit, and I'm always moved to wonderment. That what chills the finger not a bit, is so frigid upon the fundament. Ogden Nash, you have very delicate features. He very obviously was sexualizing my relatively small hands. While saying this he did a sexual sigh and a lip bite. Whoa now, PARDNER. Haha yes, I get compliments. How do you do, fellow compliment receiver? Wonderful. What about you, my fine comrade in receiving compliments? More people like me? Hello all. Isn't he a beautiful man? Quote. This guy at work to a female coworker. Both stood right in front of me when he said this. Asterisk asterisk Michael, if you're reading this, I'm not gay or interested in being with you, and if I was, offhand comments like this isn't winning me over. Try being yourself, or at least finding out my interest. Asterisk. Yeah Michael, back off man lol. I'm bald. Your head is such a nice shape. Like, dude, what? Are you planning to do something creepy with my head or something? To be fair, from the tree I'm perched in with my binoculars, your head is a nice shape. A mate of mine went through a phase of feeling people's heads and saying, you have a nice shaped skull. Can I have it when you're done please? Quote. I felt oddly complimented. I know an African-American lady with an autistic son who, at 3 years old, was fascinated with textures. He'd walk up to ladies unprompted, grab the corner of their dress and just rub it between his fingers. I remember thinking, that's not going to be cute when he is 15 years old. You guys are getting compliments? What's a compliment? Think it's a rare delicacy from far-off lands. My boyfriend and I would love to play with a cub like you. 1 month ago when I was returning home from my work, I had a 40-year-old lady tell me that we will meet again, because it's our fate. I swear I never have been scared that much in my life. Well, you are anus destroyer after all. Girl once said that she wanted to put me in a maid costume because I would look good in it. Your dick looks like my father. That's so cool. I'm not even kidding. Sounds like her father's a real dick. You look like you're into older daddies. 16 is legal here. I'm 17. 17-year-old me was walking by a construction ditch on the side of the road when a worker jumps out behind me and proclaims, girl, you're so fine. You could make Stevie Wonder see again. Quote. Thank you random citizen. The time when I was 17 and my dad's friend called me jailbait. Hope your dad's not friends with him anymore. When strange older men tell me that I'd be prettier if I smiled. It's a weird thing to say to someone you don't know. Has anyone ever told you that you have a really long neck? In a good way. WTFXD. I'm a massage therapist. Had a guy say he wished he could chain me up in his basement so he could get a massage whenever he wanted. When I was in primary 7, about 11 years old, we had to look after the younger kids at break time and lunch. A little girl stared at me right in the eyes and said, your eyes look dead. Said by a guy on our first and last date, you're so awesome. You remind me of my mother. It's weirdly put, but it's kind of a sweet sentiment in a way. Hashtag SWEETHOMEZEALABAMA. I want your long legs. Would have been less creepy without the underscore very creepy underscore way she said it. You're a pervert, but like a nice pervert. Didn't know what to say to that one. Am I a pretty pervert while batting your eyelashes? I was a bartender for a short period of time and a quiet but frequent regular told me I had pretty eyes. I tried to be cutesy about it and I said, thanks. I make sure to wear them every day. He then proceeded to tell me something along the lines of cutting my eyes out of my head and putting them in his pocket, and then said he was joking. He was promptly kicked out by my manager and wasn't a regular after that. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.